me, Elgin. I can save all of you. I can help you go back home. This wasn't just a random nightmare. This was a dream I had over and over.
Can we maybe figure out what we're gonna do now?
I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what's wrong.
Then figure it out!
Do you feel it?
We should go.
Oh, I want to take it.
Hey, stop.
You feel it?
From season 3, episode 7 trailer. Now we have about 4 episodes left between 7, 8, 9, and 10. And for every episode, I'm wondering when we're going to finally get some real answers. I've been saying in all of my last breakdowns of both trailers and episodes that it looks like we're getting built up to finally get some answers. But every time a new episode comes out, it seems like we're just getting more and more things to be confused about and more things to have questions over. So hopefully we're going to finally start getting some answers here and get built up for potentially a big thing to happen at the end of this season. So let's break down this trailer, because as you guys know, in my last trailer breakdown, I got some good things right. So let's see if I'm right again. It all plays into my theories. Everything is connected. Starting with the Elgin storyline. Now, as we see, Elgin is following the photos that he's taken that are clearly somehow connected to this drowned Japanese ghost lady. And we see that these photos are taking him directly to the root cellar. Where have we seen this root cellar before? We've seen it more than just a couple times, both when that's where Victor hid. That is also where we saw Jade first started having his visions. It is also where we saw Boyd have some visions of the ballerina. And we saw that Julie went through the faraway tree and ended up in this root cellar. We've known since season 1 that this root cellar was going to be extremely important. 3 things I need us to remember about this root cellar that might be directly connected to what is going on in Fromville, and it will explain what is happening with Elgin. Number 1 is that this was the only place Christopher did not know. How and why, now that you're really thinking about it, did Christopher not know the root cellar existed? If he had been in this town for quite a while, knew a bunch of people, probably explored it himself a little bit, especially trying to find answers if he is the reincarnation of Jade, or the replacement, I would say, not reincarnation, of Jade. How did he not know about the root cellar? How did he not know that people could be hiding there? That is a huge question for me that could be directly related to what is about to happen with Elgin. The other thing I want us to realize is that everyone is somehow connected to this root cellar. Literally everyone, every single storyline is somehow connected to this root cellar. But the most important one is Jade. And remember when Jade was down there, he saw the symbol and then he saw the ghost that was smashed by a boulder inside of this root cellar. Now, this Japanese ghost could be directly referring to a ghost called an abume, which is a Japanese folklore of a woman who dies directly connected to childbirth. Now, again, this is all connected between Jade's visions, Fatima, and now Elgin, because Fatima is currently dealing with some phantom pregnancy, whether she's pregnant or not, or she's pregnant with something from the town, or she's turning into something. We don't know, but pregnancy has been mentioned. Then we also have Elgin seeing this Japanese lady ghost who is crying out for help and asking him to help her, which could be directly tied to this mythology. However, we saw that Jade had the vision of a man crushed by a rock or a boulder in the root cellar, and we see that this ghost is bringing Elgin to the root cellar. So again, is it directly tied to an abume who will give him a baby, and the baby turns out to be a rock that grows heavier and heavier until it crushes Elgin? We don't know where this is going. Clearly, whatever the writers on From are dealing with, it is loosely probably based off of this character, because clearly it's not a direct one-to-one. However, we are seeing that across the entirety of Fromville. Remember, I told you that I believe the monsters are Wendigos. But again, as close and as on the nose as these things are to Wendigos, it's not quite right. We're seeing all these other things like the tarot cards theory, there's so many theories going around that it's almost weird that there's so many that are almost on the nose, but then not quite right. Again, this is all connected. Now we need to talk about Tabitha. Now we're saying that she is going to the village with Jade and with Jim and with Ethan to go explore this place that she had seen in a nightmare when she was younger, over and over and over again. Now, I really want to talk about this detail because a lot of people are running with this and saying that it's time travel, that she was really in the town when she was younger, and all these things that are very clearly not true. If you've seen any other movies depict dreams like this, where someone is having dreams dreams or visions of something that is very clearly in the past, but a very long ago past, even if it's their face, because it's in a dream, it is actually their face on someone else's body. This is something that actually happened to somebody else in the past, and they're reliving it through a nightmare where they believe that it is them. That is very obviously what is happening right here with Tabitha's dream. It's a nightmare that she's having a reoccurring dream of a past person who was in the village and is giving her these nightmares, projecting these nightmares to her because they are probably an even further past version of Tabitha in the replacement theory of Miranda, of that I also believe I told you guys in another video. Again, looking like I might be right, that Abby was actually in between the two of them, and that Abby was another chosen person who had had visions when she was younger as a child. Again, it's all starting to connect. The person who is here to save the children is somehow connected to the village as well. But we're also starting to see, I think, pay off that everything is connected. Like we've seen Jade talk about chaos theory. Nothing seems connected until it all is. You just have to find the pattern. I believe everything that's happening in From is all connected to everyone. The image or the nightmare that Tabitha is having is from the actual person from the cycle of 1609. I still believe that we have verified that the numbers 1609 and 1864 are very clearly referring to dates, and these dates are playing out in the town. Now, not every number actually is a date, which now I'm trying to come to the conclusion that because that is part of the chaos, not every number is a date. Not every number is even a address, or a location, or any of these other theories you're seeing float around YouTube, Reddit, X, wherever you're seeing your theories on from. You're on YouTube right now, so you're probably seeing them on YouTube. Not every date is the same thing, and that is part of the explanation. Some of these numbers are dates. Some of these numbers are coordinates. Some of these numbers are addresses. Some of these numbers are Greek numbers I've seen some people talk about as well. That is the point. That's part of it. It'd be too easy if they were all dates, but we're very clearly seeing which ones are dates by what is being played out in the actual town and in From. And 1609, this pilgrim girl that she's seeing that was in the village with the pilgrim that was practicing cannibalism, that also ties to 1609 and the starving times of Jamestown that I mentioned in my last video. This is all connected the same way 1864, the Civil War soldiers, and a lot of other things that are playing out in the town and the train station in the town are all connected to the 1864 date. The town itself, the part where everyone is at, specifically being connected to the 1978 cycle. But we'd be so wrong to write off all these numbers as not dates just because not all the numbers are dates. Now, when it comes to Tabitha and her vision and the cycle that she's playing out, again, it is a part of her quest. Everyone has a role to play. I do believe that the tarot card theory, on top of all of these other theories, is starting to become stronger. And again, once we get through the rest of this trailer, I'll explain more at the end of this video. Now, we need to talk about Fatima, but it's going to be pretty straightforward. Now, a bunch of people know what's going on with Fatima. We need to find answers, and they're going to be just like us. What the hell is going on? Why did we think Fatima was pregnant? So I have to remind everybody that there was actually no pregnancy test involved. Even though Fatima asked for a pregnancy test, we never got confirmation from Christy that they even had a pregnancy test. And then we see Christy sitting there with a clipboard saying that she's as sure as she can be given the circumstances. So to me, this means that there was actually no pregnancy test ever involved, and that Christy noted down all of Fatima's symptoms on this clipboard, and based off Fatima's symptoms, she could potentially be pregnant. So I believe the next episodes will be about what is going on with Fatima in regards to what is happening with her, what is changing her, and what is she turning into, based off the fact that she was never pregnant and she was not able to hold down human food, and then now is developing cravings for rotten food and for human blood. But also, why did Tilly also think she was pregnant? Again, her being pregnant is an important detail. Whether or not she's actually pregnant, there's a reason why everyone thinks that she was. So this is still important. Just because we now know she was never pregnant does not mean that pregnancy does not have something to do with what is going on with Fatima. Now, quickly to touch on the Victor storyline just because there's nothing in the trailer, but there are things in the episode stills. Victor takes Jasper up to his room. Now, I believe that the only way we're going to get a true payoff of what's going on with Jasper is when Jasper and Jade get in touch, when they cross paths. I believe that Jasper will only speak to Jade or speak because Jade is in his presence. I don't believe that there's going to be a scene where Jasper speaks to Victor unless Victor is alone. I believe Doll has to be possessed by whatever is talking through it, and that is why it's not going to just simply just start talking and all of a sudden start giving them answers for no reason. And then I do want to point out again that this weird drawing is the center of the shot behind Victor's dad. Again, what is this drawing? What is it showing us? Why is it important? We don't know, but it's going to pay off at some point. So make sure you remember this photo. So now let's talk about Julie and Randall, as they're clearly going to look for answers where the cicadas came from. Now, when it comes to this whole situation, there's so much layer to what is going on with the cicadas. Now, I'm hoping that they don't mess around and bring the cicadas all the way back in full form. As we know, the cicadas have pretty much never left. Julie's saying that she's still hearing voices and screams. Randall is still seeing the cicadas, and Marielle refuses to talk about whatever she has going on. And there was someone in my comment section who related this back to hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, right? We're seeing that Julie is still hearing things, Randall is still seeing things, and now Marielle is still not saying anything. So is this connected? Could potentially be. I don't have anything that relates this cicada thing to true folklore of like what is going on with them, but I believe it is another iteration of the writers of From giving us a million different things all happening at once, and that's quite literally the point of the show. So now let's get into what I've been hinting at in the entire video, which is what is going on in From. Now, I believe that because there are so many theories that are valid, the tarot card theory, the dates theory, the coordinates theory, the addresses theory, the Wendigo theory, the list goes on and on and on, right? I even think I saw like a Dr. Mabuse theory. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down if you're interested in that. There's so many things going on, a simulation theory, a dream theory, a time travel theory. Everything has valid points, and I believe that the simplest answer for why there are so many theories that are being able to be proven in so many different ways but does not quite explain everything in the show is because that is the point of the show. There's a million different things going on. There's a whole bunch of different nightmares happening in this town, which is something that we've been hinted at since season 1. We have seen everyone in this show call this town a nightmare. We have seen actual nightmares become realities in this town. We've seen a bunch of different stories that are playing out, from nightmare childhood stories, drawings from children, and nursery rhymes. It all is just too coincidental to be an actual coincidence. But that's all for another video. I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger in my own video, so you guys have to watch the next one where I break down what the dates mean. Is gonna be my next video. Then the next video is gonna be breaking down what I just explained to you, which is how all of this is actually connected and how the chaos is the point. The chaos is the story. And breaking down the future episodes, future trailers, all those things, and all the things you may have missed from even the earlier seasons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.